Hey yo, today we're going to be doing the full review on the Omega Seamaster 300 blue dial. Here we go. Alright, so here we have the Omega Seamaster 300 with the blue dial and the blue bezel here. It's from lug to lug, it's 47 millimeter. Lug width here is 20 millimeter and it is 12 millimeters thick. The movement is Omega caliber 2500. This is a modified version, or I should say an updated version of their 1200 movement, if I'm not mistaken. And now they have an 8500, which is totally in-house, where this is a heavily modified ETA movement, from what I understand. I got to watch a couple days ago, wore it 2 days. First day it was plus 4.5 seconds on the old Tool Watch app there, and the second day it was negative 1.5 seconds. First day I kept it like this overnight. Last day I kept it like that overnight. Now let's get on to the head of this watch. The blue dial is really sharp and it matches the ceramic bezel perfectly. It's like the exact same color, super sharp there. I will say the etching, the laser etching on the ceramic here could be a little more legible, could be a little more steel colored, but it's a minor gripe. The dots and the sticks, as you can see on the inside there, are raised, and that's a nice touch too. They used to be just like painted on. Now they're raised. They got a little metal on the outside, a little steel there. It looks pretty nice. Flat dial. They're no longer doing the wave dial, and I did like the wave dial. It was very cool. Kind of wish they kept doing that, but you know, it's a minor fucking gripe. You're not going to notice it right away. This is very similar to the watch Pierce Brosnan wore in the Bond movies. He wore a 2531.80, if I'm not mistaken, and that did have the wave dial, had the old, aluminum fucking insert. This part here, it was aluminum. I opted to go with the newer watch with the updated movement and the updated bezel, plus the updated dial, etc. This is a much nicer watch, in my opinion, than the actual reference number worn by Pierce Brosnan. Anyway, so back to what we were talking about here. The date is nice. It's nice and centered there at 3 o'clock, and it features a black background with a metallic font like that. Love the red Seamaster writing, and the just the tip red secondhand, that classic Omega just the tip shit there. The hands are really sharp looking. The loom, the applied loom, really adds some depth. You know, like right there, kind of looks like they're all steel, and there kind of almost looks like they're black with the applied loom on it there. I like this scalloped bezel here. It's not coined. I believe the Seamaster launched in 1948 or some shit, and it did have the coined bezel eventually. I think the Seamaster was 200 meters water resistance when it came out, even though it was called the Seamaster 300, which is kind of interesting. Helium release valve right here. It's made for diving. If you're going to go in a diving bell, and you would untwist this to release the helium. I like the way it's placed. Never something I'm going to use, but it really looks nice on the watch there. The case, brush sides on the case. It's got a polished top here, polished on the outer case. Well, I shouldn't say the outer case, but the fucking case, okay? It's brushed on the sides, polished on the top, really goes nice. And the fucking bezel, when it's, it matches up perfectly with that crown guard here and the crown, and that looks really sharp, especially when it is centered correctly. The rotation of the bezel, pretty nice. It's a little clunkier than I expected. I thought it would be a little smoother, but it is sharp. It's a sharp click, and I think it's pretty quality. Bezel, no wobble, no rock. Nice and, well, maybe a little tiny bit of a wobble there. But overall, the build quality of this watch is really nice. Love the design on the back, that classic Seamaster logo there with the polished steel and the wave background. There's a laser etching here, which they added, I believe they added that in the early 2000s to detract counterfeits or fakes, if you will. That's really cool. I don't know if I can get a close-up shot of that or not. I'll give it a shot. The looms are really cool. It's cool that the minute hand and the pip have a green loom where everything else has a blue loom. However, I've noticed at night the blue kind of washes out the green, and unless it's really full charged out of the sun, it's really kind of hard to notice that. Onto the bracelet. I love the bracelet on this fucking watch. I love this pinstripe polish on these links here. Just the ends have that polished steel. These are solid steel links, making the watch a little heavier. Also, the bracelet isn't tapered as it goes down. Like a lot of watches, these links tend to get smaller as it goes. This is all the same size, which wears a little differently on the wrist than other watches that do have that tapering. But again, the weight and the way this watch wears without the tapered bracelet is a personal preference, and that's kind of up to the wearer. Now the bracelet the bracelet links, if you want to remove a link, there's a screw there. You can see I kind of scratched that, sizing the bracelet. You want these tiny little fucking screws. I'll put a picture up over there. You take those out, one screw there, and then there's a bar that comes through here. You would take out that bar and remove the link. I removed 2.5 links. My wrist is a 7-inch wrist, so this would fit a larger wrist for sure. Let's see. The only thing I noticed that I really don't price point wise, that I don't appreciate is right. Let's see if I can get it in frame there. See right here on this link. See those scratches? That's in this link too. That's over brushing. That's nothing I did to the watch. It was like that brand new out of the box. And for the price point, you really would hope that Omega's quality control would catch something like that. But it's a small oversight. You could get a Cape Cod cloth if it really fucking bothered you, and you could brush those right out. Onto the clasp. The clasp is nice. It's a nice once fold over there, closes pretty quickly. It's got a 2-button release on it. Here, there's a sharp bit here on the joint here, which is also unexpected for the price point. But unless you're really going to attack somebody with just this fucking bit of the watch, I don't think it's going to bother anything. But that's a little sharp. They also do make a micro adjustment clasp, and this watch did not come with that, and this was, like I said, this is a brand new piece. I'm surprised that the micro adjustment clasp isn't standard by now. And the diver's extension is also a little nasty to get open. You really gotta, there we go, you really gotta use some force to get it open. And of course, that's if you're gonna wear it over a wetsuit. Overall, on the piece, what do I think? Omega Seamaster, fucking 300 overall. I like it. I think it's pretty good bang for buck. It's a nice luxury timepiece. Gonna have it for a long fucking time. Comes with a nice long warranty, and it is very similar to the Bronze and Bond movie era watches, but it's got the updated movement, ceramic bezel, just lacking that wave dial, which I did appreciate. And that pretty much sums it up. All right, that's the full review of the Omega Seamaster 300. Let me know what you guys thought, and stay tuned. Still uploading on Tuesdays and Fridays for right now.